Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Northern versus Southern Buddhism. I saw this, I was like, I I knew there's differences in different types of Buddhism, but not necessarily Northern versus Southern, so let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
That's why the Northern Buddhists and the Southern Buddhists principle and practice no difference. The main principal difference is method. Result, achievement, and practice, no difference. Whether it's in the southern countries of Asia, such as Thailand and Burma and Sri Lanka and all that stuff, or the northern forms of Buddhism, such as China, Korea, Japan, Tibet, whatever, is exactly the same in result. The aim is the same, the practice is the same, it's taught by the same teacher, and they're all authentic and valid. But the major difference is method. Northern Buddhists rely on bodhicitta and compassion to achieve the goal. And within Northern Buddhist sutra practices of Mahayana, they go one more step. With great compassion, they take the result of the path onto the path. Means although they're not a Buddha yet, they do the visualizations and practices of a Buddha to accomplish that. So it's even more quicker because they take the result onto the path. So within the northern forms of Buddhism, which arose from Buddha himself, people debate. But some people say Kalachakra started in 670 BC. Some people say it started in 900 BC. Some people say, when did Vajrayana appear? When did Hiruka appear? Where? What? I want some historical evidence. There's no historical evidence before this practice. And I'll tell you why. And I quote from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. By the way, so Tsem Stupid Rinpoche is not making this up. Because those teachings are of a spiritual nature, given on an esoteric level to esoteric beings, and they are timeless, dimensionless, without form, without place. So, if Paris here achieves a very high level of bodhisattva, let's say fourth or fifth stage, and she can perceive the Buddhas directly. She can have visions of Tara, receive initiation from Tara or Vajrayana herself, and instructions and practice. And she can practice and achieve, and she has the results of that achievement. Then when she teaches, it will be a whole new lineage. So you say, where? What? She can't identify. She can't say it could be a cave somewhere. She doesn't know. She doesn't need to know. So practices of the tantric nature in Tibetan Buddhism, we do not hold time and date as important. And the reason is because they were taught on a very esoteric and subtle level. Sometimes it's mind and mind only. Mind and mind only. So they say, but how come the Buddha was in Dhyana-kosha inside a large stupa giving Kalachakra, but at the same time he was in the north? When Buddha was teaching Kalachakra in Dhyana-kosha, in the stupa down there, requested by the kings, he taught Kalachakra, along with that he taught Vijayasamaja, and he taught Hiruka, simultaneously together. Some participants would get Hiruka, some participants would get Yamataka, some participants get Hiruka. Kalachakra, different. And to them, they will see the Buddha in that form. Why that form? Because that particular deity has something to do with the transformation of some delusion that is apt and strong and fitting for that group and that people in the future. So when he gives teachings on an esoteric level, it's like visions in Christianity. How do you prove visions? Or how do you disprove them? Joan of Arc, was she insane? Or did she do what she said she would do in the beginning of her visions?
I'll say this. It's obviously, if it's a personal thing, the three realities from the absolute reality, Brahman, Atman, objective reality. This is a white pen. Now, mind you, your monitor might discolor it, or maybe it's not recording quite right, or maybe the quality of the video is slow. I don't know, depending on all the video editing and all that. But generally speaking, if you look in this person, we're going to agree that it's a white pen. And that's objective reality. Subjective reality is own personal experience. So how we see, like the famous shoes and dress where everyone's saying it's white gold or black blue or something like that. So that's subjective, but because of how you perceive the color blue, how I perceive the color blue, and how it's being translated, like it's a really bad quality image, and it was like bad lighting, and then on top of that, the what you're seeing on your screen, how the different monitors have different RGB values, so it gets it's a lot of discoloration. So that's very subjective because it's there's a lot of processes through it. Plus, how your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, tongue, taste, whatever filters through it will also have your subjective reality to it. So this is along the lines of subjectivity. You know, it's something that you could probably never ever prove because not everyone's going to experience the thing the same way. So it's never going to be proven to be true, but it's never going to be proven to be false either. They can make statements now, whether it's because they said something or circumstance happens to go that way. You know, that's kind of hard to prove.
How about St. Francis of Assisi, who talked to angels? Who was compassionate and kind, and totally pious and gentle, and didn't hurt a dove or a fly, and lived on meager needs, and lived off the land, and traveled and showed by example the compassion of God. How can you deny his visions? If he's a mass serial killer and he runs around out visions from God, of course we know he's bananas because you have to look at the actions. Similarly, when the Buddhas manifest, and the Bodhisattvas manifest, and they manifest, sometimes you can't put a place or a time because they're on an esoteric level. A place that is timeless and dimensionless, your mind. And when we say Vajrayogini appeared at this time, it is just a reckoning of one manifestation. Vajrayogini has appeared in many manifestations, many times.
So I'm trying to get a view of this. Oh my gosh, what are the heads up there? Third eye. I have no idea what's holding on her hand, of course. Of course the boobies and this. Damn, that's a lot of skulls. Whose skulls? I have no idea what that is. Or that, but what I'll say one thing common is like, what are these people down here? I'm sure they seem to be more whole than everything else. The faces here seem to be significant because they're not just skulls. They're not repeating like these things right here. All skulls, they're just roughly the same, I think. Maybe the necklace is significant. That may be significant. That may be significant. Maybe this is significant because it's colored, and maybe this thing too. He did say the name of this thing, this deity, I believe. I'm wondering. I guess I gotta look it up. It's like she's stepping on people, I believe. Looks like she's maybe holding the same fire. And then he looks like a what do you call the thing that you grind spices with? Because that looks like a bowl right there, and then a little a grinder, but I don't know.
Many places and many dimensions, and she will continue to be here. Why? As long as sentient beings suffer, her compassion has no end. And her skill to help has no end. So Lama Tsongkhapa says he had a vision about Vajrayogini. He tells one of his students, and don't tell people, don't be a blabbermouth, he's humble. And that's why we changed this color, blah, 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 blah. And his students tells the whole world, well, it's not Lama Tsongkhapa's fault. And Lama Tsongkhapa having visions about Vajrayogini, would you doubt? I wouldn't. Dalai Lama says he had a dream, I had a vision of chanting Satan. He told me that I had to start giving these teachings that help. Okay. Oh, guess what? Tenrinchen had a vision of Manjushri. Everybody falls asleep. And why? You look at the actions of the person. Guess what? St. Pew had a vision of Mahakala. You go, alright, you had a vision of Mahasumukala, whatever. It sounds like a joke, but you test the time, the person, their attainments, what they've accomplished, what they do, their logic, who they are, and their effort, and the result of their work, to inferentially decide whether what they say is true or not. Why? We do not have what it takes to decisively conclude. Simple. So either you don't believe in anything, or you use inferential logic to believe. At this point, until you attain higher points of meditation. Very clear, very precise, very logical. So Guru devotion is a very extremely powerful practice, and it's very much focused on Northern Buddhism because it's part of the method Tao. It's not as much focused as in Southern Buddhism, because in Southern Buddhism, their focus in meditation is not so method is not as quick, although the method is valid and excellent, is not as quick. So like that, you hear about very great masters of the North, psychic abilities, the rainbow body. They can stay in meditation for days during death. They can control the weather, they can control spirits, they can read your minds. You hear about that all the time in Northern form Buddhism from the great lamas and masters and teachers. Why is that? Is it because the people up there are better? No. The method is extremely efficient. And the method is based on guru devotion, compassion, and bodhicitta. When you have bodhicitta, you accomplish more because the goal and the point of the goal is more. If you're going to help 1,000 people or you help one, of course the person that helps 1,000 has a bigger reputation. Similarly, if you're going to practice Buddhism to become enlightened for all sentient beings, it will be better than achieving enlightenment for yourself. So in Northern Buddhism, they focus more on achieving enlightenment for sentient beings. That's called bodhicitta. And they take time to develop that practice. Therefore, it's efficacious because of the method. And the method is to focus on sentient beings. And the label for that is bodhicitta. Therefore, since the goal is bigger and the method is very efficient, of course the results are faster. Again, Southern and Northern Buddhism, Hinayana and Mahayana, are both authentic and valid. And they both come from the faultless Buddha. But the difference in practice is method. And why is it different? Because for people who can practice a higher method, Buddha turned the wheel of the law for those beings. And those who practice a higher method, and they were extremely advanced, that became few, he turned the wheel of Vajrayana. And the teachings of Vajrayana contained in the great idams I told you about were transferred and taught in very subtle forms to very few disciples. And some of the disciples Buddha taught were supernatural beings such as Nagas and gods and devas, yakshas and rakshas. They weren't all just humans. And they go to their particular realms and they practice and they preserve the teachings for a while. Because how do they preserve it? Not just the text, they actually practice it. And they come back and they reintroduce it to another realm. Example, Nagarjuna received many texts on emptiness from the Nagas.
Alright, examining the picture again. So we see the snakes up there. I don't know where they're coming from. It's not from the hair, so it's well, interesting. There's I guess a ball of hair up there. I think. Anyways, that's kind of weird. It looks like skin and then hair. Again, I don't know if that's a lump or if that's supposed to be hair. Probably hair. And more snakes down here. So is he sitting on a like snakes? I see the tails down here and the heads up here. So are Nagas just snakes? Again, I'm kind of I won't say spoiled, but like corrupted in knowledge in terms of what Nagas are. I learned it from World of Warcraft, which are like human-ish snakes. So I don't know if there's a significance between this person and this person. See the cow, and that's another person. Wow, there's actually two people here, and that has a really long neck. Anyway.
He was well known for receiving teachings from the Nagas. Why? They preserved those teachings when the Buddha taught it, and when it degenerated in the human realm, they kept it in their realm, and they came back and offered it back to Nagarjuna. You always see Napanka Naga offering it. Why not? Why is that not possible? Why? Why is it not possible? Because we cannot see these beings. Thousands and millions of people report seeing ghosts. One doesn't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So teachings of that nature. Just like Guru Rinpoche was famous for leading dharmas in Tibet. Teachings associated with the body, speech, and mind, hidden in rocks, in mountains, in trees, in shrubs, in areas. And high lamas will go to that area, have vision, and they'll have people dig and they find teachings. They find what has been hidden. Or sometimes it's nothing physical hidden. It is a mind transfer, which means at a certain location, it's a mind dharma. So what happens is, A mind dharma is something that's not physical, not written, not a statue, not an image. It is a power of the Guru Rinpoche's mind that's hidden, that teaching that's hidden in that place. And when the right person comes, they receive an oral transmission immediately. They hear it singing into them, they hear a being telling them, or they can have visions of Guru Rinpoche at that time, transferring and giving them initiation, and the image starts. In the Nyingma teachings, the very sacred and very holy Nyingma teachings, many of their lineage starts from a term. You can't even validate a time or anything. They have many practices like that. Amitabha of the consort arose from their practice of the Nyingma sect, from dharmas, that Guru Rinpoche hid for the time to come in the future that we need it.
Okay, let's look at this. Images. I thought those might have been faces. It kind of does look like it. Like eyes, nose, and then the mouth there. But I don't think they're meant to be faces. And then, okay. Okay.
It's like a mother hiding some wealth away during a war, and then 20 years later she tells you, there, let's go find it.
Sorry, I didn't really find too much in that image. It seems pretty straightforward. Nothing necessarily hidden or any... At least again, for me, I don't really see much of anything.
Okay, you need it now. Hence, don't underestimate the ability of the enlightened mind and the methods they can manifest to benefit us, which is beyond your comprehension. Beyond. And if you limit them, they can't be that, you limit them. When you limit them, you limit yourself. Because why do you limit yourself? When you become a Buddha, you have limits. How can a Buddha have limits? Illogical. So don't underestimate. Never underestimate.
Okay, so for me, I mean, again, I don't believe in anything just right off the bat, just because someone said it, not even said guru. It's a little bit difficult, or prashant. But at the same time, I have to experience it for me to believe it, and if it makes logical sense, and then I can make, again, believe it slightly. Again, these are all beliefs, not necessarily like it's a fact for me. I mean, a lot of things in life you tend to believe because it kind of fits in your realm of reality. So, but none of not the like the mind reading and the rainbow thing he talked about. The people, I guess maybe they have a rainbow colored skin. I'm not sure. That I don't believe, because so far I've although I will say this though, there are magicians out there who can kind of do that. So it is very much plausible, but like straight mind readings a bit, I don't think so. But you can, I think you can, with limited options, I think you can know what someone will pick. It's really kind of crazy. And I've seen a few magicians do that, but it's really kind of, it's crazy. It really is. But anyways, so he's saying Northern Buddhism is essentially efficient and effective and quicker than Southern Buddhism. And I think he said Northern Buddhism is China, Japan, Korea, probably South Korea, and then Southern Buddhism is, I think, Sri Lanka, Thailand, maybe. Can't remember. It's kind of weird. I was kind of curious as to why would he have a Northern versus Southern Buddhism. It says both are valid, but Northern Buddhism is quicker, efficient, more efficient. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are certain people out there where Northern would work quicker than Southern, and there's some people out there where Southern will work quicker than Northern. But he said that the principle is the same. No, the end result's the same. Maybe the principle, he said the principle is the same, but at the same time he did say the principles are slightly different, and that's the difference. The big difference is the principle of it. So anyways, I do have a few other videos of his that I've actually saved that seem to be curious. I just end up seeing this one first and then end up finding a few more, so whenever we get around to it, I will react to those as well, because they seem a bit more interesting to this one. I just so happen to see this one first. So anyways, that's my reaction to Northern versus Southern Buddhism. Let me know, what do you think about this one? I'm a bit torn why he said Northern, just because he included China in that one. And China, I've been watching some videos on YouTube where China doesn't seem to be doing too good. It's very authoritarian government. So I don't know if Buddhism really is in China. Maybe it is, but maybe it's on the common folks, which would be pretty cool. I think there's a lot of common folks out there that are genuinely good people. There are some that are kind of stuck in of an olden ways that they're just kind of stuck in survival mode, and I can't blame them for that. Then of course you have like people in higher ups who have a lot of power, who's it's a really interesting mixed culture over there. Watching I forgot this vloggers talking about the different styles, different kinds of people in China. It's really weird. I'm going way off topic, kinda, but he did talk about Northern Buddhism being Chinese in China as well. So, anyways, it's my reaction to Northern Southern Buddhism. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.